So this is my first ever live stream, trying to see if it actually works or not. Hello, hello. How's it going? This is my first live stream, so I'm just seeing if this stuff works. And today I'm going to be modeling some characters from Wattam. I'm actually going to try and make my own characters, but I thought these were really inspiring. So this is my first ever live stream. There we go. So I really love how simple the geometry is. I don't know if you guys can hear this video or not, but partially flat shaded and then partially with a little bit of lighting, a little bit of PBR. And I love how simple the faces are also. So we're going to just try and make some abstract shapes and see what we get. And I'm using Blender these days. I kind of want to just start with a cube. See if we can get something interesting or not. I don't have a specific design in mind per se, so I'm going to just be exploring a little bit. And this already is probably more detailed than the Wattam characters. But we will see. And even though they use basically just hand-drawn faces, which is really nice from a game standpoint, because all they need to do is just change out some sprites or animate some sprites, I think I might use some 3D geometry here instead. Oh, let me close that. I think I can close that. I do want to try and just do some spheres for eyeballs. I recently learned Blender, so I'm not the quickest at it yet. But if you have any questions about it, I'm happy to answer. New material. Set. I feel like I need to have an accent color on this guy. Let's try a goldish orange one. I need to add a light because I deleted the light that came with it. Let's just do a sun. Looking a little dark. I think I also want to change the color management to standard. And the shadows to Oh, soft shadows is on. Let me just bump this up a little bit. Let's see if anyone's even watching this live stream. One person. Hello, person. I hope you're enjoying this. In general, I've been thinking of making some YouTube videos, and live stream is probably the most boring of the formats because it's mostly going to be me working instead of talking very much. But I figure I might as well start and reduce some of the friction. And basically in the beginning of my days these days, I'm trying to just do something fun for an hour, and I thought that'd be a fun way to just show you guys what I'm practicing on or thinking about. So for the mouth, oh, I need to save this. Oh, well, let's overwrite that one. Save. So for the mouth, it could be a bunch of different things. It could be a torus, could be a cube, or a capsule. Or I could do something with a spline and then extrude a circle around it. I think I might just start with a circle for fun, or a cylinder. I don't know if there's a way to get notifications if someone were to type in the chat, so that I don't need to look at it every now and then. Guess I should ask my buddy Stuart, who actually does streaming like this. Let's make this black also. I'm going to quickly make some legs also. I think black will be fine for now. In general, I'm not that happy with this character, but I'm going to make a few and hopefully we can get one that we like. Subdivision. Oh. Okay. We got one leg. Oh no, I just realized I created that in the sphere layer, so I'm actually going to go ahead and delete that and just do it again. Okay. So we're in object mode now, and I'm going to go ahead and add a cube again. This time, let's actually make the same as the body color. I'm going to add a mirror and a subdivide. I think YouTube is an interesting platform in general. I consume a lot of content on YouTube, and I think it's a fun way of sharing things that are a little bit more high fidelity. Writing tutorials on like Medium, let's say, you can't ever, I guess it's just less rich of a medium. Like on YouTube, you can really convey a lot through both audio and video. So for me, I feel like it's an interesting thing to play around with. Okay, we got something. Oh. I want his feet to be more flat at the bottom. I could always do something like that. I kind of like it rounded for now. And I can up the subdivision. He's okay. I think my general issue with him is kind of like the shape language is very roundy, but then this kind of inset I don't think is really working. So I am going to make another. Let me just name this legs, body 1. I might also just make a few different mouths so that we can use them for other characters as we continue. Let's see. This is cool. Would love to watch it another day. At work right now. Cool. Have fun at work. I will hopefully be doing this more often. Alright, I'm just subdividing it so that I can start to play with it a little more. Let's do the mirror. I think it should mirror right here. Why is that not working? Is it inside the body? That is... Or is it trying to mirror the other side? This is what I mean when I say I'm new to Blender. There's certain things that I feel like should work, but for some reason it doesn't want to play nice right now. Because it is such a simple object, I think I'm going to just create a new cylinder. And let's try it again. Oh no. Seems like it's freezing at the moment. Come on. Oh. There we go. So now let's just cut in the middle. Let's try this one more time where we just delete these and add the mirror again. Still does not like it. Let's see if I delete this side. I have no idea why the mirror modifier is not working. I'm going to try one more thing. Let's do cube. Let's cut that in half. Mirror. Okay, that is working. Oh, is it because for some reason this one's... Oh, did I hide that? Let's see if we can do it. Mirror. Nope. Okay, that's gonna be a problem. Wonder if I make a new collection and make a cylinder in that. The troubleshooting stream. Okay. Something happening. Why does it seem like it's only with the cylinder that seems to be having a problem? Let's see, mirror. Okay, so it seems to work on a sphere and a cube, but for some reason Let's delete this collection. For some reason, it doesn't seem to want to work on cylinder. Well, I think I should probably just continue, because I can always just make a cube and turn that subdivided, and it'll turn into a cylinder. All right. Mirror. Okay. It seems to just not work with cylinders for me today. Sorry for that. So now I can just subdivide this a bunch. Basically have a cylinder again. This time it's mirrored and subdivided, so now I can manipulate it a bit. And I think I'm going to just manually do some of this. So because this is just sketching, I don't really feel like this has to look perfect by any means. No. Yeah, the G and H button are really close to each other. H hides things, so sometimes I click that by mistake. It's kind of funny to have like a little mustache also. And I'm going to just taper this off a little bit more. Okay, so now we have two faces, or two mouths that we can play with. I'm going to just name this one mouth smiling, and we got mouth flat. Let's see if anyone's saying anything. Nothing. We got one person. Why, hello, I hope you're having fun. Okay, now I think I'm gonna try this shape again, but this time I'm not gonna do that weird inset thing. We'll just duplicate the legs. I think that's pretty good. And I'm also gonna bevel this. I think that shape language is a little bit better and also more aligned to kind of what I'm inspired by over here. Let's see if we can look at a few more of the characters. They're all simple. I guess there is some detailing on a few of them, but overall they're very graphic. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to assign the yellow here. I usually put the facial stuff halfway in to the head. It's pretty cute. also notice that the wider the eyes are, the more infant-like it can look, and sometimes the cuter it can be. I'm going to fix this also a little bit. Let's look at the inspiration again. So they all have kind of like these noodly legs and arms. I'm not trying to copy one of their characters. Just take some of the elements and abstractness that they have that I think is working real nice and see what we can do with it. So they all have arms and legs. Let's add some arms to this guy. I'm gonna just T-pose him, so if we want to rig him later, that'll be no problem. Subdivide. Oh, did not mean to do that. Shade smooth. Bump this up to 2. I'm actually going to delete this. I realized I wanted to mirror it. Let's do mirror. Now we can kind of place him here. Doesn't have to be perfect for just sketching purposes. Now I have 2 arms. Subdivide this and add the blue material to it. I'm going to bump up the subdivision. There we go. Might move this guy completely. I think the arms need to be thicker to match the legs a bit. Let's see. Something like that. Question is if we want him to have little hands or keep it super abstract. We could give him like little mittens. It's a really weird thumb that I gave this character. A little bit better. Oh god. Honestly, this is probably too detailed. So I may just go back on this, but since we came this far, might as well see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, I think that's not really working, but we'll just keep trying different versions. So I did notice that in here they have a slightly different color for the arms and legs from the body, as well as just using spheres. It's so simple. Again, I don't want to like straight up yank a character from them, but I do think it's fun to kind of break down what's working and not working and see if we can get something that is unique that kind of pulls from them in terms of tone. I think one thing you don't want is if someone sees your character and is like, oh, is that a Wattam character? Unless it's clearly fan art. And these arms are so simple. Let's just duplicate this for the legs too. So they're not aligning because I just need to position them in the same spot. Let's see. Blender has this cool feature you can just copy paste without even clicking. You can just hover over. Okay. There we go. Something like that. And this one to me is a little bit more kind of adventure timey with the little bent feet. And this one does feel a little more kid-like, kind of like these wooden kid toys you can buy with just like the wood peg and the sphere. Let's also try a different color. I don't know if this live stream is incredibly boring, but I feel like most live streams are pretty boring. Body, accent. But I also sometimes enjoy watching people's live streams. Sometimes it's fun just to see, even if you know how to do what they're doing, see if they do it a little bit differently. Or even validate your own technique. You know, seeing this guy, I don't know why, but I keep thinking a sheep type character like this would be fun. I think maybe like Lamb Chop, or is it called Lamb Chop? The old like puppet? Lamb Chop? Not the food. Lamb Chop puppet. Let's see. I feel like I've seen kind of like sheep characters with these peg type legs and arms. This guy's pretty funny. Let's see. So let's try and do that as well. This one actually reminds me of this, there's some sort of fashion brand, I don't know what it's called, but I think their logo is like a flat face. Okay, let's do a sheep. I think that'll be pretty fun. Subdivisions. I'm subdividing it a lot because I think I'm going to sculpt some bumps in it just for the fur. This might be overkill, but I could always reduce it later. Okay, let's move him here. Duplicate these. Let's see the position of this. Copy it and paste it into here. Okay, great. If we're doing a sheep, I feel like the sheep fur is always pretty big. So I'm gonna go ahead and sculpting, and this is why I switched over to Blender from Cinema 4D. It just lets you do some of this stuff a lot easier. So basically their sculpting tools is probably almost as good as ZBrush, but it's nice to just learn one tool and everything works. Let's see, what do we have? I know I could just use like the grab tool and kind of like grab some areas out. I think I'm also going to just smooth it so we can kind of see the final result. But I also think there's inflate. This might be pretty good for what we're trying to do. Yeah, I think I'll just do inflate. Going to keep mirroring on for a little bit and then eventually take it off. Also going to add a subdivision so we can kind of see what it looks like. This is going to be the sheep fur, kind of like a stylized sheep fur, going around his arms a little bit. I think that's looking pretty good. Alright, so this is just gonna take a little time. I'm gonna stop working on this fun little practice stuff at noon, so I have basically 30 to 45 minutes to hopefully make something that is good looking. Let's see if anyone's even watching. We still have one person. Oh, hey, Matthias. Just killing time at the hospital. Oh my god. Congrats. I didn't know Isabel was or you guys were both having another baby. That's awesome. I would give Matthias a plug, but there's only one person watching, so I feel like I'll save that for when there's actually people who would be interested, and that one person could be Matthias. Alright, I think that's looking kind of cool. I know shading wise it's a little bumpy, but we can easily make it more cartoonish or even flat. Yeah, I think that's pretty fun. His arms are getting a little bit lost. Let's go back here. Let's create the, what do we call it? Sheep. It's not, is it called fur? I feel like it's got to be something else, but let's add the roughness. It's kind of nice. I guess I don't like the splotchiness in terms of the shadows. I'm going to just bump this up for now. Still a little splotchy for me. This is also my first time talking while working, so I don't know if anything I'm saying is worth listening to. Okay, since it is a sheep now, I think we should make this black. We already have a black material. Okay, so now I just need to put a face on it. One way, I'm going to duplicate this a bunch. That's one way, you know. Reads a little less sheepy to me, but let's also thinking how can we actually put kind of like a face attached to this. Kind of thinking something like, I don't know if this is going to be too weird. Kind of like a little face peeking out. I actually don't really know what sheep look like. Let's see. Sheep. So it looks like sometimes they have white fur on their head. Sometimes they have black fur. They also have ears. I think that's probably an important thing to add. All right. So as a quick practice thing, we are only like 30 minutes away, so I'm going to just go as quickly as I can. Let's do white. Yeah, that's one annoying thing about Blender. It doesn't really set your material unless you're only selecting one thing. And where did the mouth go? Let's grab that thing and just bring it out. Yeah, now that I see it on the sheep, I feel like a more uniform mouth shape would be better. Vertex snap. And hopefully we can also make some interactive stuff on the stream. I think teaching how to code is, a lot of people do it, but maybe it'd be fun to go between a bunch of different tools, because in terms of my workflow, I'm usually modeling something, then I rig it, and then I animate it, I bring it into Unity, I add some scripts to it. I think maybe just showing that whole workflow would be fun for some people. So that's one version. This guy just looks like a cloud, to be honest. He might even be fun if we just like expand him over there. It's kind of a fun one, actually. It reminds me of the cloud character in Mario, Super Mario. Even though I guess we would just need to redo some of the bumps so it doesn't feel so stretched, but I think that's a cool one too. I feel like the cloud is, maybe there's something we could do with that with when we render some volumetrics and some subsurface could be really fun on the cloud. So let's just add some ears to him so we can at least follow through on one idea. Copy this, paste this. And I guess after this stream I'm gonna have to figure out why mirror wasn't working for the cylinder. subdivision. Hoping this doesn't look like a horn. Maybe adding a little more thickness here would help. Maybe it doesn't help though. Let's see what these ears look like. I guess they kind of dip down a little. That looks a lot better. All right. I feel like that face is still really bad. I just wanted to keep it super abstract, but kind of wondering if this shape is fighting with it in terms of wanting more detail in the face. Also wondering if we need to have a nose for the sheep. I guess all sheep are like, they have really longish faces. Like that already looks a lot better. And I need to grab, I wonder if it even needs a mouth, to be honest. Let's add the mouth and see if we like it. In general, I'm also planning to just do more fun things on YouTube. I think probably the live stream would be the most boring of the content. Kind of want to just talk about design and interaction design because I feel like not many people are doing that on YouTube, and really the only people who are like I don't know, like tech reviewers, but they've never actually made UI before. So I always find their reviews or comments on UI to be very I don't know, I guess a little bit shallow, I guess that's the right word. There it is with a mouth. Still feel like the cloud might be the cutest one. This guy's kind of fun. Just because we're not going to rig it right now, let's see what it looks like with his arms down too. I probably did that the wrong way. Something like that. I feel like his arms might even need to go down more. I mean, I know we're personifying him. Sheep would have 4 legs. And that's kind of cute. He's kind of like standing up from being a 4-legged creature. Let's see. I think I can move it on its local axis. I should have really just parented it. I wonder if we should also put a nose on him. Let's just do a quick test. The normals are getting all messed up, which I could fix, but I think in general it might be too detailed again. I think that is not working. Let's just keep it flat. Okay. I'm still tempted to just go with the cloud version, but let's just go with him for now. I'm gonna move him to a new collection. Sheep. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Move to sheep. Okay, so now I can hide all this. Move him here. And we'll just do some sort of flat rendering. Kind of want to see what he looks like in cycles as well. Basically, Eevee is the real-time one, which is a real-time renderer, which gives you similar rendering to something like Unity. And then cycles can give you something a little closer to like Octane or Redshift. Oh, so I don't have any lights anymore because it was in my other collection. It really can look like a vinyl toy pretty easily with some subsurface, which is kind of fun. You just want white. And I actually think the way that the head is connecting could be a little better. So I'm going to take the move. That is a little better. I actually don't mind the side effect there. Cool. Let's go back here. Let's add a plane. Kind of wondering what this looks like with subservice. Let's get out of the render mode for a second. I think something like that is better. Should really just fix the background. Here it is. Yeah, so basically I'm just creating like kind of like a light box. Oh, sorry for the camera shifts. Basically creating a light box. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I'm just gonna do it the manual way and kind of pull out a curve over here. Because it's so far away, I don't think I need to be too detailed with it. And let me just make sure there's no other comments. Okay, so let's do the background. I don't think we want it this saturated, but I'm just testing. See if we can preview it in here instead. Get a sense for color. Something like that could be nice. The only problem with cycles is it's so grainy that it takes a minute to actually see what the heck is going on. Thinking we'll probably do a shot like this. And 2000 by 2000. Just duplicating that. I feel like the eyes look a little funny because the subsurface, in terms of density, is just creating a different color. I think that's a little better. It's hard to tell because it's so grainy, but let's use that same. Let's also play with the background a little bit so the colors are less the little lines in the background there. I'm getting a little bit of banding which bother me, so I'm gonna just use a subdivision on it. So subdivision, let's just go to 3. At least then this whole thing will have more geometry and hopefully look a little smoother. Oh, we're in edit mode. Okay, there we go. I should really just set a camera angle too. Kind of be looking up at the sheep. It's kind of a wide camera as well. Where is that? Let's see. Oh, I need to create a camera, that's why. Camera. Let's do line camera to view. That's going to lock camera to view so then I can move around freely. 50 millimeter. Let's go 70. So flatten it out a little bit. Can either go from top. I think maybe something like this will be fine. This isn't for anything too serious. It's just playing around, so. All right. See how that looks. Probably tweak the lighting a little bit, and then I think we're done for today. Then I'm gonna go back to doing my real work. See if we can add anything. Well, let's forget where things like bloom and ambient occlusion are. Thought I saw it a second ago. Oh, maybe it's in here. I won't do any depth of field. I feel like it has to be in here. Performance film, light paths. Let's see if I go to Eevee, what's it do? Eevee actually looks a little, I mean, I get an instant preview, but I might just go with Eevee. Oh, here it is. Then there's ambient occlusion. We can also add bloom. Let's see. There's a little bit. Don't really feel like it adds anything. Now that we're in Eevee, I actually want to try the old material. Yeah, now at least we're consistent. I think Cycles is a little more realistic. It treats the objects a bit differently. Let's see. Yeah, that might even be better. We have a little vinyl toy. Notice, I've never done subsurface on a black material in Blender before, so it's kind of interesting to see what happens. Yeah, a little tint like that's nice. There is this weird shadow here. I think that's coming from my point light, which I'm kind of using as like a kick light. I'm gonna just turn off shadow, and maybe I'll add another light just to maybe give it some rim. I don't think that's the right spot, but trying to just give like a little bit of a rim glow. I think that's gonna be, let's see what happens when we toggle it on and off. We are getting a rim, let's see. I feel like it's just too intense. Let's do 50. I do like that it kind of highlights the shape a little bit. Something like that would be good. You just get the little bit of the face. Helps blend it a little bit. I like that. I think we're good to go. Just center it a little bit. And I guess the background also bothers me. How you have like this dark that then just goes let's see if we can just fix that real quick. I thought giving it the geo would be good, but I guess shade smooth, auto smooth. Let's see if any of that changes. No. Let's turn this off for a second. Oh, because I have the UI off. Okay. Trying to think how I could also just do this a little easier. I actually think I might just take a cylinder. I'm going to take a cylinder because then at least I'll have a perfect cylinder, a perfect smoothness from going between 90-degree angle to a curved one. Let's see if delete those, delete those. This one I can just extrude, and then the key will be, let's see if we can do this with snapping. Snap. It's also in the distance, so I wonder if I can just eyeball it. I think that's probably going to be good enough. Put it over there. Let's see if we can snap to the vertex. I think there it is. Okay, so I just need to select both. There we go. And I'll shade smooth that, and then I'll put the same PG background material on it. That does not look good though. still have the same problem. I mean, it's a lot better over here now, but there's still that transition issue. Let's see if we can merge these. I actually forget how to do that. Join. Okay, so now they're one material. Learning on the fly. Okay, so we don't need this stuff anymore. We'll just dissolve this. And now I can take this. And the hope here is now that it's all one mesh, I can actually go in and clean up and, where is it? Merge by distance, which will make it into one plane. Okay, that's a lot better. Still a little bit, but I guess that's kind of standard with light boxes. Okay, I think we are done here. I mean, the mouth, I guess there's always going to be something to update. It's kind of the point of practice. Like, there's always something to fix. Let me just get the camera correct. Okay. What was bothering me was this part looked a lot thicker. So part of that is just the way the curvature of the sheep head is. So moving this, I think, will help. Now the front of the mouth is a little too much. Again, I'm not really using this for a video game or anything, so it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be perfect. But I would like a decent render. Okay. That looks better to me. Yeah, at least it's the touching area, how I guess it's partly the camera angle I chose. So I could just do that camera angle. That's a little better too. Alright, I think we are done. This was my first live stream. Thanks for bearing with me if I was a little all over the place. We started with the inspiration of Wattam, which is a game on PS4 you should check out. Really cool character design. And we made a bunch of these guys, which are a little hard to see because of this plane. And we ended up with a sheep. Hope you enjoyed. And I will be streaming, I think, hopefully every morning just for an hour. Just a little warm up in the morning. Thanks very much. Have a good one. I actually have no idea how to stop a stream. Let's just do